Hi everyone, I'm Rita Lavon and welcome back to my channel at Love Build Share. And I want to say thank you all for tuning in. I feel like it's been so long since I've done like a regular video, so to speak. I've been doing a lot of shorts. So if you haven't checked those out, please do. I will link them in the description box below. And if you don't know what the description box is, under each YouTube video, there's an arrow. And if you click on it, you'll see any information that the YouTuber wants you to know. And that's where I generally put any of my videos that I've recently posted for you all to check out. So it's nice to be able to talk to you all again. I look back at my videos and it's been 8 days since I've done a regular video, but I do post shorts every single day. So please make sure to check those out. But today's topic is going to be a heart-to-heart. I really enjoy doing videos like this because I have such strong feelings on certain things. And again, with my channel being Love Build Share, I am here to share what I know. These are only my opinions, of course. I am not any kind of licensed professional. So with anything that you hear, of course, in life, take it with a grain of salt. As a disclosure, you know, any of the words that I say, it's not meant to disrespect or to shame or to, you know, just degrade anyone. That is not my intention. My intention is to share the things that I believe in. And I believe in these things because I've seen them work. So like with the channel at Love Build Share, I'm here to share what I know, to build a community, and to do it in the most loving way possible. So with that being said, let's get started. Today's video is going to be about the soft life. And I'm not sure if you all have heard about this. I feel like it's a newer term. Like, I really don't even hear about it as a lot, really. It's very new, or at least it is to me, I should say. You know, it could be, look, it could be new to me and old to y'all. But the soft life. And there's so many ways that I can take this. I actually wrote down some notes. So if you see me looking down, it's because I literally wrote notes to kind of break it up into like sections. All right, so I actually looked up the definition of the soft life, which is so funny because it's like, it's really a definition for this, right? So I'm reading it from my phone. So the definition says, the soft life refers to a lifestyle of comfort and relaxation with minimal challenges or stress. Some people use the term in reference to a life that involves a life of wealth and luxury, while others interpret it as simply being a simplified life unburdened from stress and responsibilities. Okay, so I don't agree with that bottom portion as far as like responsibilities, but I guess it just depends on how you take it. So with that being said, I want to give you all my interpretation of the soft life. So I'm going to start with love, right? So when I first think of the soft life, I think of love. I think of love in terms of being married because I'm a married woman. So I'm going to take this turn first as far as speaking to being married. So when I think of the soft life, I think of being married to a person who is kind, caring, trustworthy, responsible, someone who has your best interests at heart, someone who loves you and only you. And I'm going to stop there because I feel like I said a lot, right? So when I say things of that sort, what I'm saying is that the person who you marry, the person you may date, or the person you may have children by, are some of the most important decisions you will ever make in your life. And because I am a Black woman, I have to speak to my community, right? So in the Black community, it has become popular to be a baby mama, a baby daddy, single mother, struggle love, situationship, single but not single. We live together because it's cheaper, but we don't love each other. Anything in that realm. And all of that is unhealthy. It's unhealthy. Especially if you're doing it in terms of just because. That's unhealthy. Because when you do something as a just because, there's no purpose in it, right? And we're supposed to live in purpose, okay? And what's so interesting about the word purpose is there's meaning behind it. And I recently saw a post on social media where a person was saying that she doesn't care about the purpose for Black women. Now, she was a Black woman herself, and she was saying that, what about your dreams? And I was like, okay, I totally get it. And my thing about dreams is we could dream more in the Black community if we made smarter decisions early on. Because as I said, it's popular to be in a certain group of people because that's what so many of us do. But what if we could live out our dreams if we made those smarter decisions with who we're dating, with who we're having children by, with who we're marrying? Because that has a lot to do with why we can't dream, why we can't live in our purpose, because we are having to pay for all of the bad decisions we made. Because here's the thing, we get grace. God gives us grace, right? But when we make those bad decisions, there are consequences for them. And a lot of us are living through those consequences. And because we continuously make those bad decisions, we continuously have to keep having consequence after consequence. Where if we could just sit, be still, and listen to God, we would be able to live a better life. We would be able to move forward. So when I speak of someone being trustworthy, I speak of someone who's responsible. Why would you not want to date someone or marry someone or have children by someone like that? Why would we want to do anything the opposite of that? It's become popular to date, the bad boys. Listen, ladies, let the bad boys do their thing, right? Okay? They can do what they want with whoever they want. But move off to the side. They're not ready for you yet, okay? Let them do their thing. You look for that man who's living right. And when I say living right, I'm not speaking of perfect, because I know that people love to use that term. Oh, so-and-so is perfect. No, so-and-so is just living right, honey. You just can't take it. So many of us are so used to people being wrong and doing wrong that when you see someone doing right, you become offended by it because they're not doing what you do or what a large group of people do, right? So it becomes this, they think they're better than me. No. They do better because they know better. And if you knew your worth, you would be doing the same. So to tie it back into the soft life, when you date and marry and have children by people who are trustworthy, who are responsible, who have your best interests at heart, you can live a soft life. You can live a soft life, but you have to make those decisions. Oftentimes people call men that are responsible nerds. I don't think they're nerds. No, they're not nerds at all. They're responsible men. That's how it's supposed to be. Now, don't get me wrong. We go through stages in life. So maybe a one-time bad boy became a nerd. And I don't even like using the term nerd. I really don't like it. I feel like it's very negative. They're just a responsible man. And that's what we should all want. You let the bad boys do their thing, and they can entertain those women who want that. It's not healthy, but they can entertain it. And you let them learn from that. But in the meantime, you find you someone who is better for you. I can also talk about monogamy in the Black community. It has become a joke to repeatedly cheat on your partner in the Black community, and so much so, now there's a term, Black men don't cheat. And when you hear it, it sounds positive, but they're actually making a joke out of it. It's like to try to make people believe that's true. There are men who don't cheat. There are women who don't cheat. There are people who want to be with one person, and not cheat on them, and not be single but together. That's so unhealthy. To be dragged along for years, to be cheated on for years. Who wants that? That doesn't feel good. And don't get me started on, oh, we were on a break. A break? No, you weren't on a break. See, when people say they're on a break, that's a way for them to not take accountability for either what they've done or either what's happened to them. No one wants to say, I cheated on this person. And no one wants to say, this person cheated on me. There's no break. There was no break. That's just what you're telling the public so that we don't think that there was, anything sketchy going on. And it's not right. So again, the soft life to me means being with someone who loves you and only you. Being with someone who has learned your love language. Because the interesting thing about love language is you have to love someone the way that they want to be loved, not the way that you want to love them. Because your love language may be different than theirs, and you have to do research on that. So my suggestion is for those who are married to research love languages. Talk to your partner. Figure out what works best for them. And you all work together to do that. Because see, that's the thing about marriage. It's a partnership, which is much different than a single but together baby mama, baby daddy situationship, or whatever it is that you want to call it. That's not a partnership. When you are married, those are vows that you say in front of God. That is serious. And I know that when people say married, people have turned that word into, oh, well, just because you're married doesn't mean blase, blase. Listen, when you're married to the right person, you don't have to deal with blase, blase. And if you do, you work together as a team and with God to figure it out. You fight for your marriage and you work through it. Marriage is serious. It is not a joke. It is one of the highest commitments in the land. When you stand before God and you say a vow, that is serious. It comes with a particular level of respect. And one of the most interesting ways that I can describe it, or that I use, is that as far as funerals, and I know this is probably going to seem a little weird to some people, like, why is she talking about a soft life and now she's talking about funerals? Stay with me, okay? Think about a funeral, right? Think about when somebody dies, okay? At the top of that obituary, if that person was married, it is going to say, and they leave behind a loving wife or a loving husband, and give a whole story about them. But if you are somebody's situationship, girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever, you're going to be at the bottom, right? You're going to be at the bottom, and it's going to say, usually it's the last line, and they leave behind a special friend, so-and-so. Nobody cares about you because you don't have a title that holds weight. Yeah. You don't have a title that holds weight. So why would they? When you are somebody's wife or someone's husband, that's oh, okay, so nice to meet your wife. Like, when you get to introduce your spouse to somebody, there's a certain level of, It's kind of like how when people say, "Oh, I'm married," or "This is my husband," or "This is my wife," and people tend to be offended by that sometimes because it's like, "Oh, well, why does she have to say, well, that's my husband?" Because it is, honey. And if you had one, you would understand. There was a particular level of that it puts in your system, especially when you were doing it with the right person. Two is always better than one as long as you were doing it with the right person. The benefits of being married are endless. It's not just about love. And don't get me wrong, it's a portion of it, but it's also a business decision. Because when you are in business, you want to make the best decision for everyone as a whole. So when you're married, you're thinking of your family as a whole. And to remind you, it's the family that you're creating, not the family that you come from. All right. So I'm not speaking of your parents, siblings, and such. No, I'm speaking of your husband, your wife, your children, that family, the one you're creating. So when I talk about this soft life, you can live a soft life when you live your life in a particular order, right? So I'm a believer in God, and I believe in the order that God has made for us. And I have this thing that I've created myself, which actually, in the beginning, it didn't even come from any type of like godly source, meaning the Bible. It didn't come from that. It came from just my personal beliefs and what I had seen from my experience in life. And the saying goes, love, marriage, house, children. And I say that because I have seen the positive examples and how they've lived their life in that way, and they're able to have the soft life. Now, it's not to say that you have to live in that order and you can't have the soft life. But what I can tell you is that there is much less struggle when you do it that way. Absolutely. I've seen it time and time again. And again, to remind you all, this is not to degrade, to shame, to make anyone feel bad for their decisions. None of us are perfect, so please don't take it that way. My intention is to only share what I believe in and what I know. And as always, please take my words with a grain of salt, all right? All right. But getting back to what I was speaking of, the soft life. We're not supposed to struggle forever, you all. Now, you can't have joy without pain. But that pain is not supposed to last forever. Maya Angelou said it best. Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. And that speaks volumes. And that speaks to the soft life. Because while you are in whatever season of bad decisions, and maybe you just don't know yet. Maybe you were never taught. Maybe you've never seen it. But when you see better, do better then. And don't forget about those good guys. Like I said earlier, we like to call them nerds or whatever. I don't even like that word. I just call them good guys. Okay? Responsible men, caring men, kind men, men who will treat you well, men who will take you places. Okay? The soft life is also about being taken someplace with you and your man, or you and your woman, or whoever it is, right? So let's talk about going places. Let's talk about having dates. You know what I mean? You would be surprised the amount of people who've never been on a date before. No, they just been chilling. What is chilling? No, Let's go somewhere. And for those that say, oh, well, dates cost money, let me tell you something. A date doesn't have to be expensive. You don't have to date somebody that only wants to take you to expensive places. I'm not talking about going to Ruth Chris every week. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you can walk in the park. I mean, that's exercise. Let's get our steps in together. Okay? We can go sit in a, Starbucks or wherever you want to sit in. You could have a picnic at the park. Don't forget about stuff like that. What type of things are you interested in as a person? See what the person you're dating or the person you're married to is interested in. There's all kinds of ways that you can live the soft life. And I guarantee you, struggle love is not one of them. No. And you will start to see that as you change, or if you've always been the type of person to live that type of life, you will see the difference between your life and others. And I know that as people, we shouldn't compare ourselves. So what I would say is just to look at other people's lives. It's not necessarily a like, oh, you know, look at other people's lives and what they do or what they don't do. Do you want to be Netflix and chilling for the rest of your life? Or do you actually want to travel with your partner? Do you want to be taken out on dates, regardless of how cheap or expensive they are? To have somebody who wants to take you someplace, to have someone who introduces you as exactly what you are, not a just, but this is mine. You understand what I'm saying? This is my wife. This is my husband. That means something. It's important. And the soft life is included in that. Purpose. When you have purpose, there's a difference in the way that you live and people notice it. And you're going to notice it too. So if you need help with this, my suggestion would be to look at the people in your life because those are the closest to you. Do your family or friends, do they have, partners? Are they married? What type of situation do they have going on in their home? Do they get taken places? Do they travel with them? Are they on their own? And ask yourself, do you want that to be your life? Because if you don't, you can start now by doing research to make sure that you live the type of life that you deserve. And we all deserve a good life. We all deserve a soft life because we all are supposed to have a life of luxury. You deserve the best. And when I say the best, I'm not necessarily speaking of anything expensive. That's not what I'm saying. When I say you deserve the best, I mean you deserve someone who is going to love you for you, who is going to be monogamous to you, who is going to care for you, who is going to keep your best interests at heart, who comes home to you every day, who says positive things to you and about you, who does the same when they were speaking of other people. You deserve that. You are special. You are important. And you have to know your worth. I could go on for days and days about this topic. Y'all probably noticed, she getting a little serious. Look, I have all kinds of sides to me, as we all do, right? So I hope that you have enjoyed this session on the soft life. At some point, I'll probably go in a little deeper on it, but I think that's enough for now. Again, this is my channel, at Love Build Share. I'm Rita Lavon. I want to thank you all so much for being here. I truly enjoy creating these videos for you all. It means so much to me to have topics like this, to talk about things that I really care about, that really mean the world to me. Because again, we all deserve to live a soft life. That's how it's supposed to be. So before you go, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with everybody you know. And also follow me on social media, on Instagram, at the same name, at Love Build Share, Rita Lavon. I post on there as well all the time. And I hope that you have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you all in my next video. Thank you.